When we think of the Himalayas, most of us picture snow peaks, rivers, and forests. But hidden in this landscape are nature's unsung heroes, the vultures. Often misunderstood, these birds are actually frontline defenders of ecological balance. By swiftly disposing of carcass, vultures prevent the spread of diseases, recycle nutrients, and keep the natural cycle running. Yet, in recent decades, vulture populations across India have collapsed, making their conservation one of the most urgent and fascinating challenges in wildlife biology today. To take us deep into this world, we have with us Malyasri Bhattacharya, an ornithologist and PhD student at the Wildlife Institute of India. She currently leads a vulture conservation project in Himachal Pradesh. Her research spans from high tech methods to understanding the deeper sociological ties between communities, birds, and nature. Ms. Bhattacharya, over to you.
Thank you, Ananya, and thanks to Hindustan Times for introducing me and to a wonderful platform to know more about this scavenging birds. And I will be telling about you about all the Himalayas and how I have been working for the last few years in this high elevation Himalayas and also about the scavenging birds of prey. Thank you. So we can start our presentation from today. And I'm again thanking Hindustan Times and the whole team to show my journey for the exploring scavengers and scavengers of the world. Thank you. So, what comes to our mind when we first think about a vulture? We think it as a dead bird, or it's related to death, or is it like very fascinating, like wonderful creature with long wingspan and beautiful eyes? I think the first one, right? So this is my first question to the audience, like what comes first to your mind when you see a vulture? Their talons, like their big beaks, their eyes, their feathers, or their wingspans. Often in Disney, in the most of the cartoonists have preferred vultures as a bad, goofy bird, and even in our different kind of phrases, we use it as a very bad omen. Like vultures are always bad, but are they really bad? Vultures are also related to different cultures. If you have heard about Parsi religion has immensely connected with vultures from the past. The Tower of Silence in Mumbai, if everyone can recall, the dead bodies after the last rites were performed by the vultures, and they play a very important role in that. The vultures were even related to Egyptian culture, and the Egyptian goddess was a vulture. To our Hindu culture, the vulture Jatayu, if everyone can recall, Jatayu has saved Sita's life by giving his life. So it is always innate to our culture that vulture was important and an important status. But why do we always see it as a very bad omen? Is it really bad that? So, what is a vulture? A vulture is a bald headed large bird. The bald head helps a vulture in maintaining their body temperature in a hot environment. And vultures are a natural source for carcass disposal. And I always tell that they're the most efficient scavengers in the whole world. They are the most efficient vultures. There are 10,000 birds in the world. Vultures among them are the more and more threatened birds. What if the world's efficient cleaners are disappeared? What do you think? Like, what will we see if there are no vultures? And currently, most of you who are watching this may not have seen a vulture in the wild, may not have seen a vulture readily, but old people have seen a vulture. But what happened to our world if the vultures has disappeared? The dogs, the other scavengers grow. But are the dogs as efficient as vultures? Are the dogs as efficient that they can scavenge it like a vulture? That we will get to know. There are a lot of dogs everywhere, and we don't know what happened. So, healthy vultures, healthy ecosystem, and healthy people. So, how this health of human is related to a vulture? When we see a vulture, a group of vultures can eat up a carcass within minutes. From our experiments, what we did, we saw that within 20 minutes, a group of 8 vultures has eaten up a total dead body of a cattle. But when it goes to a dog, it will tear it up and it will go to the nearby villages and spread deadly diseases like tuberculosis, rabies, anthrax, and many more. And also, it cannot eat up the carcass so soon, right? So the vultures are so much important for the ecosystem. And if the vultures are not there, these dead bodies, the dead rotten bodies, will mix with water, will mix with soil, and will be a deadly virus for the whole generation. So they are the direct link with the ecosystem. What I already told, this is their stomach acid is 100 times stronger than the humans, and they can eat up a carcass and can digest it so better than any other scavengers, and that's why they have played the most important role in our ecosystem. So in India, there are 9 vultures, but in the world there are 23 species of vultures in the world, and they have been divided into two groups: the old world and the new world vulture. We will not explore in detail about all the 23 vultures because I will more depth do a study and show you that what I did from Himachal Pradesh. But just in introduction, that each of these vultures you're seeing on the screen has playing an important role. Each vulture has its important part in the ecosystem, and their specific parts are being diverged and diversified all over the world. So these 23 vulture species around the world, half are in danger of extinction, and 9 vultures are found in India. Almost 4 are critically endangered. These are the 9 vultures found in India. The first one you can see is the white-rump vulture, which is a critically endangered vulture. The second one is the Indian vulture, which is also a critically endangered vulture. The third one is a cinereous vulture. It's a near-threatened vulture. The fourth one is a slender-billed vulture. The fifth is the bearded vulture. The sixth is the Himalayan ribbon vulture. The seventh is the red-headed vulture. The eighth is the Egyptian vulture, and the last one is the Eurasian ribbon vulture, which is least concerned because it is a migratory bird. So, what happened to the vulture population, and why I tell again and again this critically endangered word? So, in 1994 or more, like before the 1990s, there were millions of vultures in whole India, and this is a photo from the Timapur, Delhi, taken by Gautam Narayan. There were millions of vultures. You can see even above the terrace, there are a lot of vultures sitting, right? But suddenly the decline. What was the cause? The cause was diclofenac, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, a painkiller used to treat cattle. So a cattle treated with diclofenac, if a group of vultures eating the dead cattle, the whole group will die. So if 60 birds are eating on a poisoned, like the diclofenac they given cattle carcass, the 60 birds will die together. So it was a huge problem. But what happened? Government banned diclofenac the in veterinary use, but it's still available in few birds in human use availability. But other than that, the vultures also have been linked directly after the decline directly with human deaths as well. There are increasing rabies cases worldwide. There are increasing disease transmission from feral dogs. So every day this is directly linked to our health, and that is why they are the most important part. The vulture decline has gotten that white-rump vultures have declined by 99% since the 1990s, following the Indian vulture by 95% and 91% for red-headed vulture. All the vultures has declined rapidly due to the use of the diclofenac. Not only the diclofenac, there were few other drugs as well. And according to the State of India's Bird Report, this is a recent survey from State of India's Bird Report through the eBird data, the eBird platform. It's a citizen science platform, and from that citizen science platform, what we see that the numbers are still on decline. The Indian vultures are declining by over 8% every year, and red-headed white-rumped are declining by 5% and 4% every year. So this is really a concern. To recover the population, there is a captive breeding population created by Bombay Natural History Society in combination with Haryana Forest Department. Also, to remove diclofenac from the environment, a concept called vulture safe zone has been introduced. What is a vulture safe zone? A vulture safe zone is a 100-kilometer radius area where all the area will be free from any toxic non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. What I call as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs are nothing but diclofenac, aceclofenac, nimesulide, this kind of drugs that are proven very toxic to vultures. So the vulture safe zones are an area where there's safe area for vultures. These are the potential vulture safe zones from India. These are not designated by government, but these are still the potential vulture safe zones from India. The first one became the Pinjore in Haryana, following Dudhwa, Katania Ghat, and many more in the region. These are the drugs that have been proven toxic as well as the proven safe vultures. As of now, in 2025, meloxicam is the safest drug for white rum vultures as well all the vultures in India. So always we recommend to use meloxicam as the safest alternative to use as a painkiller for cattle or else as tolfenamic. Aceclofenac, ketoprofen, and diclofenac are proven to be toxic for vultures, which is our concern. And always, this is an important step for vulture conservation. Trying to start my own project in WI, I started in 2019 my own project with Dr. Gautam Talukdar, and as a supervisor, I started my PhD working on how these birds are doing. And in the Western Himalayas, I chose the landscape because I heard that it was a beautiful landscape with cheap pine forest and Dholadar regions. Starting for this, I started my work on a particular species called white rum vulture. A white rum vulture, I already told you, as a critically endangered bird. And according to the eBird and Citizen Science data, the bird is found in these few regions in India, as well as in Bangladesh, Pakistan, Myanmar, and few parts of Pakistan area border also. So, what is actually a vulture, a white rum vulture? The body size is around 76 to 93 centimeter, the wingspan around 180 to 250 centimeters. They give only one eggs per year, and incubation means how much they incubate on an egg is around 45 to 48 days. The breeding season starts from October and ends till April. The white rum vultures I already mentioned have declined by 99% all over the world, and it's a matter of concern. My study area lied in the northernmost part of India in Himachal Pradesh, Kangra district. Kangra district, from this photo, you can understand the background is the Dhauladhar region, and these are the white rum vultures that are flying overhead, and with the cheap pine forest in the down. Its elevation ranges are varying with 450-meter elevation going to up to 5,300-meter elevation. So it is a varying landscape with different type of people. From our study, what we understood that Kangra Valley has a unique spot, and in India, it is one of the most largest population of white rum vultures, and that is a proud moment for Kangra people in Himachal Pradesh. They nest in cheer pine trees. Can you see the nest here in the tree? It's almost around 32 to 34 meter in height, and they mostly use cheer pine leaves, the Pinus roxburghi leaves, as a platform to making their nest. So how's their cycle of life? How is the reproductive cycle? They are monogamous. They pair for life, always together. The both parents share the incubation duties. So whenever one parent is not there, other will go to fetch food for the young, and another parent will always be there. So both of the parents share their duties. The breeding season, as I already told, starts from October and ends till May. The incubation time is 50 to 56 days, and the fledgling time to become a bird that can fly is 104 days. But what happens? They give only one egg a year, I told you. And the fledgling time and to take a bird to fly, it takes around 3 to 4 months. But it takes around 3 to 4 years to become a reproductive mature individual. A reproductive mature individual will only give birth to another bird, right? So their process of breeding is very slow. And if there also the process becomes slow, then it is up to the fact. So what we did capturing of the bird to understand how they are moving. We did radio telemetry of the bird to tag the bird. But before tagging, we have to take permission from necessary departments from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and the Himachal Pradesh Forest Department. After taking the permission, we did the tagging. We started capturing the bird from wild, and you can see it looks like a very dangerous bird, but it was not, and it was okay. The next we tagged the bird. That, but you were thinking that we tagged it like a with needles and anything. Nothing like that. We tagged it like a backpack harness. What is that? Like a bag you wear in the back is just with a Teflon ribbon. The tag has been packed in a backpack harness, and the bird was not harmed. And the whole process took only 20 minutes to complete. So, Nitin, can you give just the video? I can show the video to release. Yeah. So the whole process took only 20 minutes and the bird is released within minutes. You can see the bird is healthy, and we check the health with a veterinarian and everything and just release the bird. Yeah, thank you. So what we understood from this tagging process, and why did we tag? We wanted to know that how much these vultures are important to the region of Kangra and how much these vultures are important to the Himalayas, Western Himalayas. What we see, they're mostly going inside this Kangra region and Himachal Pradesh. They're not going much out, and that's why this region becomes so much important in conservation value. The birds start their morning routine from the nesting sites, go to their feeding sites, and again go back in the evening to their nesting sites. They have traveled so far up to Pinjore, the captive breeding center, and the potential vulture safe zone. They have also traveled to Jammu Kashmir and Pakistan border, but they have not crossed the borders. And this vulture is a residential vulture. This is not a migratory one. So it is mostly inside in the nearby the Himachal only. The maximum distance traveled by the bird was in one day, 124 kilometers. Three of our tagged vulture have even done nesting, and they're still doing the nesting reproductive. Like for the 5 years, they're continuously nesting, and this is a very important step to understand in detail about their nesting study. Here I am showing you that how they're going to Pakistan borders, but they're not crossing the borders. Are they national vultures? We don't know because we have not gone that side of the border. But this is the story that they are doing, and that have came up from the study. But other than this, Kangra region has also a very important task to play. People here are not much familiar to this, and they don't like also this kind of things to see in public. But do you know there's a important part that vultures play, eating up the carcasses. And the person you're seeing, he's from a Harijan community, and he is doing an numerous good task to feed the vultures. What they do, this is called dump yards, and this is still available in Kangra district, where the carcasses are dumped and it is being eaten by the vulture, and then these bones are being collected to sell in the bone industry, and the skins are being collected to sell in the skin industry, the tanning industry, and they play a very important step here. The vultures you're seeing here in the far away area, they're waiting for this car to come, and they know these people. Every day they come at a particular time and they dispose of these carcasses. The vultures wait for them. Then comes the dog. The dog eats up the carcass, and then the vultures come. They have a lot of threats among their families as well. These open carcass disposal sites are decreasing as a massive scale because there are no open areas, right? And people don't like these open areas to be dumped by carcasses, and people will not like that. But this plays a very important step. Even there is a decrease in tanning industry, bone collector for fertilizer, and people are now more recommending ground burial practices. In the Mandi, Chamba, and Manali Kullu area, most people are now doing ground burial rather than in open in Himachal Pradesh. So this is a great threat to them. Also, there's threats to nesting tree. There's forest fire every season in the cheal pine nesting season, and we have even found fledglings falling down from the nesting tree. There is resin collection from the tree every year, and that particular tree has been affected by forest fire. So every time the resin collection and forest fire season happens, the trees are being degraded in the forest. There is even electrocution and collision, and we have found like 19 birds died between 2021 to 2023, which is a huge matter of concern. So, all over, it's a huge duty to all of us to think about them, rethink about them, maybe. It may look like a bad bird, but it plays an important role in our ecosystem and it's a very important part of our health. So, for you to say that always report any illegal veterinary use of toxic NSIDs, we have our two platforms, Saving Asian Vultures from Extinction, Save, where you can report any toxic NSID use. You can be aware about role of vultures in the ecosystem and also gain knowledge. And after this talk, you can tell others about how much important the vultures are. And they are just not going by the looks; they are important in the ecosystem. Also, stop using any toxic NSIDs for your cattle or buffaloes or anything. Diclofenac, aceclofenac, ketoprofen, nimesulide. These are the four major concern drugs that should not be used. And tag us on Instagram or Facebook reporting any illegal veterinary drug use or nest destruction. Hashtag Safe Vulture Movement at Exploring Scavengers. I wanted to acknowledge first the Himachal Pradesh Forest Department for helping in all through this work, and also ZSL Edge and Habitat Trust for funding my work. My project assistant Manoj Kumar, without whom I would never be possible to do this work because locals are always important, and he's a Himachali person and who can do this work from the heart. I thank PCCF, Wildlife Dharamshala, CCF, DFO, Forest Guards, and all the local people of Kangra. At last, I want to involve you all that it's an International Vulture Awareness Day we just recently done in the first week of September, first Saturday, and this is the International Vulture Awareness Month. So we are doing this and always spread the message of saving vultures. A world without vultures is a world less safe for humans. So save vultures. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Bhattacharya, thank you so much for that insightful presentation. I hope people who are watching this have learned from it. I was just curious, what drew you to choose Himachal Pradesh of all places in India?
Yes. So Himachal Pradesh has a continuous wildlife circle. The Forest Department of Himachal has always been steady in conserving white-rump vultures. They have doing in 2004. They have started the study. Mr. D.S. Dharwal was there, and he has started the study in 2004 in Himachal Pradesh. Taking from his work, we started the study, and also the habitat is still intact. And as I told you about the open carcass disposal sites, the sites are still there in Kangra. So that's why I chosen the Himachal Pradesh as my study area. Yeah.
And you've been on the ground. What kind of challenges people like you are genuinely trying to help this specific species is has gone through?
Yeah. So the most challenging thing that I understood is understanding people's perception that I already told you. People don't like vultures, and it is very difficult to change behavior of a people towards a bird which is looking ugly and which eats on dead. So I'm still doing a lot of awareness campaigns with the locals, with school students to understand that they are valuing to the ecosystem. They may look ugly, but they are an important part. So that is the main challenge all over. Yeah,
Well, ugliness is subjective, isn't it? All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Bhattacharya. I
yeah.
hope your aim to spread awareness is done through this presentation as well. Thank you so much for your report.
Thank you.